Thank you, Harry. Well, there's been more bad news for struggling shops today as new figures show a fall in retail sales last month. So how's Yorkshire's been doing? Well, let's have a look, because Look North has asked all the Yorkshire councils for the percentage of empty shops in the major towns and cities. And the figures for the autumn show that Bradford, there it is on the screen, and Rotherham have the highest rate, 19% of shops not being used. And you see there Rotherham's figures also 19%. Although only 15% of shops, they remind us, are empty in Rotherham's main shopping area. Now, let's look at the other end of the scale. York and Harrogate are faring best. Just 7% of their shops are empty. National average is 11%, so doing much better. Emma Glasby, though, has been to Bradford and to Rotherham to find out how they're tackling the problem.
It's a problem in almost every town and city. But when it comes to the major high streets in Yorkshire, Bradford is struggling more than any other to keep stores open. Almost 1 in 5 shops here is empty.
It's just a bit dead, really. There's nothing much going on.
Because everyone just goes to Leeds and then just don't bother with Bradford.
There is a lot of empty shops. They could do a lot more with space, but choose not to, I guess.
Well, there are empty shops on almost every street here in the city centre, and very often right next door to each other. It does make it extremely difficult for those businesses who are trying to draw in the shoppers. Rachel can't afford her business rates. She applied to Bradford Council for a hardship grant but was rejected. She says her store will close in June.
It's dying. This is the town centre. There won't be a town centre soon. There is no incentive really to come in. We're just a town now of sort of pound shops.
Bradford Council say they are working with shop owners to tackle the problem.
Some of the figures that have been produced don't actually reflect Bradford City Centre.
But your own figures show almost 19% empty shops.
The figures actually show an improvement on the number of empty shops over the last couple of months, but that doesn't actually solve the problem. And I accept that we've got to do a great deal more work.
And in South Yorkshire, another high street facing a constant battle. Here in Rotherham, the latest figures show 19% of the shops here are empty, but that is an improvement on recent years. And when it comes to prime retail streets like this one, that figure falls to 15%. This store moved out of Rotherham 7 years ago, but has decided to come back. The council here is working hard to fill the town centre and even helps out some new businesses with their rent.
Our vacant shops are going down, footfall's up, we've got more people visiting the town, and since 2010 we've had over 50 new businesses come into Rotherham town centre, so we're very much seeing signs of improvement. Still a way to go, but we're certainly on the way up.
But this town and Bradford have tough competition from neighbouring cities and out-of-town shopping centres. They'll be looking for a busy Christmas to help them face the new year. Emma Glasby, BBC Look North.
Emma, thanks for that. Well, joining us now in the studio is Kate Hardcastle, a retail expert. We saw there that Rotherham's trying very, very hard to do something about it, but generally speaking, it's a bit grim in certain cities and towns, isn't it?
It's really grim, and it's so sad. You know, I travel all over and coming back into Yorkshire, and that's where I do my spending, that's where I take my family out on a weekend, and the atmosphere is very flat, and what I'm very aware of is we need to do something to try and get some measures in place today and bring some vibrancy back, and we're only going to do that if we understand how town centres need to operate now against other channels like the internet. We can't just do what we've always done.
You see, you mentioned the internet. We did a straw poll of the camera people and people in the gallery and everything, and more than half, I'd say about 70%, said they'd done over half of their shopping this year for the first time on the internet. Some had done it all.
Yeah, I'm afraid so. The thing is that the internet can offer something which is timeliness. We're all time pressured, often value because they don't have the same overheads. But what we need to think about as a town or city centre is what can we do, what we've got that's completely unique to us, and that's the interaction, the service, the personability. Think about Christmas time, and there's a big thing at the moment called nostalgia marketing. That's where brands celebrate and bring back things from our childhood or our past and connect with you on that, and it works very well, very successful. 80% of us respond to it. If you could have that silver brass band and the hot chocolate in your hand and the hot chestnuts, that would make you, go back and interact. And what we're doing, obviously, is because the shops are closing down, we don't want to be there anymore. It's easy to go out of town. we're just not going into them.
And the trouble is, to get into town's expensive, whether it's by bus or car parking in some city centres can be ridiculous.
I'm afraid so. I mean, I was doing some reports in Bradford a couple of weeks before I left for Australia, and I got 2 car parking tickets, you know, and if that was me doing my Christmas shopping, well, that's a massive amount to put on the bill.
I'm going to make one controversy. I'm not allowed to do this really, but I'm just going to say something like Hebden Bridge, for example, has just been voted the best high street in the country. It beat Kensington High Street. They pride themselves of having unique shops. There's not one multiple. Is that the way forward?
Exactly, Christa. I mean, you think about Lindley, or you think about somewhere like Bronteland. You've got thriving high streets
and
of independence.
Derbyshire as well, and all these little places.
Yeah, and it's independence. It's that ye oldie bakeries, butcheries that are going to bring us back, but it is customer service, and that's what we're trying to do. If we can't interact with people, serve them, look them in the eyes, and be knowledgeable about things, and help people, then we're not going to make a difference as a store anymore, because online can take everything else. They can do the product satisfaction element.
Well, thank you for talking to ye oldie presenters tonight. We do appreciate it. We know you've come direct from Australia, where you've been talking about this. Thanks so much, Kate.
No problem, thank you.